Stanza 2. Henceforth I ask not good fortune, I myself am good fortune. Henceforth I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. Done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticism. Strong and content I travel the open road. So, through these lines, the speaker says that he does not have to pray for good luck because he is the maker of his own luck. He will no longer cry or hesitate to do what he wants because he is in need of nothing. I told you that the poet says that he is contented, he is satisfied, he is happy with whatever he is having. So, he is not having any charm or craze for getting new things, luxurious things. Whatever he has, he is happy with it. So he is happy. He says, I don't want any good luck. I am good luck by myself. Like my luck, it's what I make. He is strong and happy to be on the open road. Whitman writes of querulous criticisms. The use of alliteration here emphasizes the speaker's carefree tone, which is continued throughout the course of Song of the Open Road. Stanza 3. The speaker, through these lines, seems to separate himself from others. He says, the earth is fine the way it is. He does not desire to be any closer to the stars than he already is. Moreover, here the poet is comparing, or he is telling, that people crave to reach the sky. They want everything in advance in life, more of luxuries. But he is happy with where he is, how he is. He does not want any luxuries in life. He knows that they are fine where they are, and he knows that they are good enough for those who belong to them. This last line is in strong contrast to the rest of the poem, where the speaker emphasizes his free will and independence, which means he probably does not include himself in the group of people who belong to constellations. He does not belong to them because he does not need them. Now, the fourth stanza is physically separated from the rest of the poem. You can see that it is given in brackets. Still, I carry my old delicious burden. Can anyone's burden be delicious? No. If we speak in terms of burden, we always feel that it is very heavy, it's very hard, it's very difficult. But still, the poet here is enjoying whatever comes in his way. I carry them, men and women. I carry them, men and women, means he's addressing to the common people. You see, whatever my burdens are, my responsibilities, my work, my duties, I carry them with me. Wherever I go. I know it is impossible, he swears, to get rid of them. Means you cannot run away from your responsibility towards anything. Your duties towards your family, towards your friends, towards your neighbors, towards your work, everything will remain intact, and we have to move ahead in our life with everything as it is. So we have to go ahead. I am filled with them. The last line says I am filled with them, means he and his burdens share a symbiotic relationship of sort. He is filled with his burdens and in return he feels them. Means whatever burdens are there, whatever responsibilities are there, we need to shoulder our responsibilities and fulfill our responsibilities. The speaker is stating here that his burdens do not define him. Rather, he accepts them and carries them with him wherever he goes. Means, I by myself has to see to it that whatever work I take up, be it to my workplace, be it to my family, I should see to it that I am fulfilling it to the best of my ability so that I keep everyone satisfied. Moreover, I should not overburden or stress up myself. I have to do this, I have to do this, time and again saying it to myself. Whatever I have to do, I have to do. There is no other word in that, no word of say, but keeping on thinking, how will I do? I have to do. When will I do? With all these many questions, I don't think we'll be happily doing